गजाननसेवितं कपित्तजम्बोफलसारभक्षितं उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजं। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्। सदास्मेरवक्त्रं कृपापूर्णनेत्रं स्थितं दीनमित्रं जनप्रीतिपात्रं सुविज्ञातशास्त्रं कषायाक्तवस्त्रं दयानन्दरूपं मदाचार्य। Today's special character is Draupadi's father, Drupada. Okay, Drupada was a person who studied along with Dronacharya. Okay, from I think Parashuram, not sure. So both Dronacharya and Drupada, they were co-students. Drupada was a king, basically was a prince who became a king later. Dronacharya was a Brahmin boy, a poor boy, who became the teacher of the Pandavas and Kauravas later on. Now there was a great friendship, and between the friends, they said, we will share everything, whatever our fortunes are there in life, we will share it. So, Dronacharya asked Drupada, what about your kingdom? Will you share your kingdom? He said, yes, of course, I will give you half my kingdom. Okay, तो बचपन में बहुत कुछ बोलते हैं, लेकिन करते कौन है? So, बोलना अलग है, करना अलग है. So, when they grew up, Dronacharya went and asked for his share of the kingdom. Dronacharya was from a very poor family. Therefore, for him, power and money had a big value. So he went to Drupada, asked him for half the kingdom. And of course, Drupada said, maybe I promised you, but that was only as a boy. I didn't know the consequences of my fulfilling the promise. So sorry, I cannot fulfill it. You have to go back. Dronacharya was very angry and he said, I will come and I will make you fall at my feet and ask for my forgiveness. Okay, so Dronacharya went away in a huff. And at that time, Hastinapura was a very popular kingdom. Bhishma was ruling it. Bhishma was a proxy ruler. So he was ruling in the place of his cousin, his stepbrothers. So Both the stepbrothers, they had died early, and Pandu and Dhritarashtra. So both of them uh, were unable to rule the kingdom because Pandu was a sick person and Dhritarashtra was blind. Pandu had a curse that he cannot have intercourse. So he decided, I'll give up my kingship. Of course, he was uh, he was a designated ruler, but he said, I will give up the kingdom and I'll go and live in the forest. My children can take over when they grow up. So he went into the forest, and this 5 Pandavas, they were born in the forest, and Bhishma brought them back after Pandu died, and along with the Kauravas. So Bhishma appointed Dronacharya as the teacher. So Dronacharya was an expert in warfare. He had studied from Parashurama. Parashurama was a great warrior, and he had destroyed a number of Kshatriyas because one Kshatriya had killed his father. So therefore, in anger, he said, I will destroy 7 generations of Kshatriyas, and it is only because of somebody's prayers that he stopped. But he continued to teach warfare. Dronacharya had become an expert in that field. So Dronacharya went to Bhishma and said, I will teach your children about warfare and also about dharma. So he remained there and he taught Duryodhana and Duryodhana's brothers. He taught Yudhishthira and his brothers. And he was an expert in archery. So he made Arjuna expert in archery. And he taught Duryodhana and Bhima the Gada. The Gada is a mace. Okay, हनुमान का गदा होता है, तो भीमा का भी गदा है. Duryodhan B was expert in this gada. Okay, so everyone excelled in one way or the other. And once their education was over, so Dronacharya said, I want my Guru Dakshina. What is a Guru Dakshina? Arjuna, you go and bring Duryodhana, Drupada, the king Drupada. He is a very arrogant person. So I want to see his arrogance destroyed. Please take your army and go and defeat Drupada. So take over his kingdom and drag Drupada to my feet. Only then my revenge will be complete. So Arjuna said yes. So he went and fought a war with Drupada and captured Drupada, brought him to Dronacharya. And Dronacharya said, yes, Drupada, now you see that we are equal in every way. You are a king and I am also a teacher of a king. Therefore, I am no lesser than you. So Drupada had to admit defeat. He said, I will give you half my kingdom. Dronacharya says, I don't want my kingdom. I just want my pride. So you have come and begged at my feet. So I let you go now. You are free to go. Take back your kingdom. So Drupada was sent away with great honors. But Drupada was burning from inside. He said, I want to take revenge on this Dronacharya. So he went back and he did tapas he did some rituals for invoking great power, invoking children who are very powerful. And as a result of this tapas, so he got a boy, Drishtadyumna, who was destined to destroy Dronacharya. Okay. He also got another boy, Shikandin. So Shikandi, so this boy was actually, and he was a lady in his previous birth. And as a lady in his previous birth, so she was Amba. Okay, you had these three sisters, Amba, Ambalika, Ambambika. Out of them, Ambalika and Ambambika, they married the stepbrothers of Bhishma. Amba wanted to marry Bhishma, but he said, she wanted to marry someone else. So Bhishma had captured these three girls. So Amba said, I will not marry your stepbrothers. So please let me go to my uh, to the one I've given my heart to. So when she went back to that her person whom she was engaged with, that person said, Bhishma has won you in the war, so please go back to Bhishma. I cannot marry you. So when she came back to Bhishma, Bhishma said, I have taken a vow, I cannot marry. So Amba got very angry. She went and she gave up her life. And in her next life, she was born as Shikhandi. So Shikhandi was destined to destroy Bhishma. Drishtadyumna was destined to kill Dronacharya. Okay. And Drupada had one more child, that was Draupadi. Her name was Krishna. And she was destined to marry Arjuna. So as they grew up, so they had a Swayamvara in which Draupadi was won over by Arjuna and she married the five brothers. Drishtadyumna grew up. He became the commander-in-chief of the Pandava army. So throughout the war, 18 days, he was the commander-in-chief. But I think he died, I'm not sure whether on the last day or earlier. Right? I think on the last day he died. So, and he killed Dronacharya. Shikhandi killed Bhishma in the war. And of course, Arjuna, he killed Karna. And Bhima killed Duryodhana. And Dronacharya's son, Ashwathama, was sitting in anger when Bhima killed Duryodhana. So in the night, he set fire to the Pandava army camp. And all the people, they were killed in the tree. So this was Ashwathama. And he was cursed that he will live with disease, but he will live forever. He can never find peace. He will live forever, but he will live as a cripple. Okay, so thus the war ended. Drupada, I think again, all of them, they died on the last day. Drupada, Drishtadyumna, they all died on the last day. Even the sons of Draupadi, they also died. And Abhimanyu, of course, died earlier on. And the son of Abhimanyu was Parikshit, I think. Okay. So this is the story of Drupada. We come back to Bhagavad Gita. So I hope I'm not taking too much time. Arjuna was in the war. He came in the white horse chariot and blew his conch. Arjuna very confidently tells Krishna, please take my chariot in between the two armies so that I can see who are the people I have to fight. All those people who have sacrificed their life for honor and also because of fear of Duryodhana. Because of fear of Duryodhana, they have come to fight. If they don't fight, Duryodhana will destroy them. If they fight, then the Pandavas will destroy them. Okay? So either way, their lives have been already pledged. All they can expect is honor to fight and die as a brave person. So these are the people who are fighting with me, Arjuna says. Let me see their faces for the last time. And Krishna took the chariot in front of the armies, right in front of Bhishma, Drona, and all the other kings. There Arjuna, he looked and something he had not thought of before. So that struck him. In fact, just the previous night, Duryodhana had sent an ambassador to the Pandava camp. And he sent a message, Pandavas, you please surrender peacefully. There is no point in fighting because in the fight, a lot of people are going to die. Innocent people will die. And it is your greatness if you can forgive all Duryodhana's mistakes and let him rule the kingdom. Because if you fight the war, you will be creating a greater sin. Okay? Duryodhana is an Atatai. An Atatai is a person who deserves to be killed because he has committed all the crimes in the book. But even as an Atatai, if you fight against Duryodhana, other people are not going to keep quiet. They will be involved in the war, and almost all our friends, relatives, and supporters, all of them will be destroyed. And at the end of it, there will not be any kingdom worth ruling over. So it will be a barren kingdom. There will be no people. All the people, the able people would have died. Only women will be left out. And the women will going to lose ways. So exactly all the arguments which Arjuna has given to Krishna, I will not fight, was already sent as a message from Duryodhana to Yudhishthira, the previous night of the war. Okay. So at that time, Arjuna didn't think too much about it. But when he actually came the war and faced his people, all those thoughts came back to him. Right? He says, how can I kill these people? They are innocent people and they are my teachers. I grew up in the lap of Bhishma and I grew up learning my ABC from Dronacharya and Kripacharya. So these people I do not wish to kill, even though I were to die unarmed. If Duryodhana decides to kill me, I will welcome that. I will not take up arms. Therefore, he said, my bow is falling down, my limbs are shaking, my head is spinning. I cannot fight my people. Now Krishna, he was expecting this probably. And he says, Arjuna, you are a warrior, you are a noble man, you are a Kshatriya, you are born to fight. So this war is said to be a Dharma Yuddha. It is a fight for justice. And it is this type of Dharma Yuddha, it comes in the life of a Kshatriya once in many lifetimes. So this opportunity, if you lose, you will lose all your honor, you will lose your glory, you will lose your dignity and self-respect. And also people will make fun of you. They will say you were afraid to fight the war, right? People will point out 1 year you spent as a eunuch. So that must have affected your thinking. Therefore, now you're talking like a eunuch. So you're not talking like a man. A man will fight. A woman also can fight. So you are neither a man nor a woman. So do not give in to this weakness of heart. Stand up and fight. Now this came as a slap in the face of Arjuna. These words he could not accept. He said, Krishna, you misunderstand me. I am not afraid. I am not afraid of fighting. I am willing to fight, but these are not enemies, they are my own relatives. If they were my enemies, I would have fought them to the death. But these people being my relatives, if I kill them, I'm staining my hand with blood. And if I don't kill them, they are not going to sit quiet. They are going to come and destroy our army. Therefore, no matter what happens, I don't think there is a solution. This war is not a solution. So the only solution I can think of is if I can retire from this war and live like a sannyasi. As a sannyasi, I'll be free from all papa punya. I'll be free from all karma. Therefore, I will not have to take on this great responsibility. I will resign from my job. My teacher uh, talked about Arjuna's dilemma. He says Arjuna's dilemma is like a dilemma of every human being when they are in great distress. So when somebody dies in the family, so first you get up with a shock. You deny that death. You say, no, it is not possible. Later on, you go and visit the, the home of the deceased person. And there you see that the body is lying there. Now you can't deny that person is dead. And then you wonder, this person was so young. So how come that person died? Just the other day, he was healthy and laughing, and we shared tea together. And how can he go away like this? And then, as you accompany the body to the crematorium, as you see the body being burned, okay, your thoughts go up into the purpose of life. So if this person died so young, what is the meaning of his life? So this is the fate of everyone. Everybody has to go away, and nobody is going to live forever. So if this is life, and this life is not one life, it will continue life after life. So in every life, you have to go through all this pain and suffering. So I don't think anything that we do in this life will help us to get over the fear of death and also the sadness of losing our near and dear ones. So this is called smashana vairagya. Okay, when you go into the smashana, you have this type of uh, thinking, and then you say, I don't want to live. This person has gone, so maybe I should stay in the smashan and wait for my death. There is no point in going home because everything that we live for goes into ashes at the end of life. Now, the problem with Smashana Vairagya is once we come home, then we leave that Vairagya in the Smashana. Okay? When it came to Arjuna, it is a sort of that type of Vairagya, but it transformed. It transformed when Arjuna said, when Krishna said, don't give in to your weakness of heart, stand up and fight. Okay, so now Arjuna says, I want to fight, I am ready to fight, but I cannot fight with my teacher. I cannot fight with my near and dear ones. It is better if I take sannyasa and live a life of beggary. Bhiksham. Bhiksham is bhiksha. I will live a life of beggary as a sannyasi. It is for a sannyasi, bhiksha is an honor. For an ordinary person, living on bhiksha is an insult. But if I am a sannyasi, it will be an honor to live on bhiksha. And of course, Krishna, you have said, this is not right for me. That means now I am confused. If I fight this war, I am going to incur sin. If I don't fight this war and live like a sannyasi, I will be deserting my duty. I will be giving up on my responsibility. And that is also not right. So tell me what is right. Should I fight? Should I not fight? I surrender to you. You are my teacher. You guide me. Okay. Many people think of Bhagavad Gita as a counseling session for Arjuna. Arjuna was in fear and he was under stress, and Krishna gave him stress relief. Well, in a way, yes, Arjuna was in stress and Krishna gave him the relief from stress. But if you look at the Gita, the first verse and the last verse, in the very beginning itself, Krishna says, Ashochan Anvashochasva. You are grieving over something that does not deserve grief. I think I have to charge my cell phone. Just a minute, please hold on.
God, this is like very bad.
Ashochan Anvashochasva Prajnavadamsha Bhashase Gatasun Agatasuncha Nanu Shochanti Panditaha. Arjuna, you are grieving for something that does not deserve grief. And yet you talk like a scholar, a pandita. The wise man does not grieve for the one who is dead and for the one who is not yet dead. Okay? This is the message of the Bhagavad Gita. There is no legitimate reason for grief for the simple reason that death is a part of life. If death is a part of life, don't be shocked at death. Learn to accept death as part of life. right? Everything that is born has to die. The only difference is some people go earlier than others. And some people, the way of death is different. It can be an accident, it can be some disease, or it can be just old age, or sometimes even a newborn child also can die. We do not know the reason why. So death is inevitable. For the inevitable, you need not express shock. The shock is when you think of death as happening for other people, not for you. In fact, this is exactly what Yudhishthira answered when he was asked, what is the most, uh, you can say, most difficult thing to believe in this world? What is the most difficult thing in this world to believe? And Yudhishthira answered, every day we see people dying and going to Yamaloka, but somewhere we think that we are going to live eternally. Others can die, but we will not die. So this is the greatest mystery of life. So should you be shocked, or should you learn to live with the understanding one day I am going to die? So let me become ready for that day. Swami Chinmayananji made this remark, very interesting remark. He said everybody has to die one day, but death comes only once in your life. If death comes only once in your life, don't be caught napping. Okay? So embrace death with both your arms and say, I am ready. Prepare for that death so that when you die, other people will have tears for you. You will go with a smile. Okay? So be fully prepared when the death comes. It's a once in a lifetime experience. Don't be caught napping. Okay? Be fully alert and embrace it with a whole heart and say, well, my journey is over. Right? So for a jnani, death is a celebration. For the one who knows reality, there is no death. Krishna says, what is real cannot die, and what dies cannot be real. The real cannot become unreal, and the unreal cannot be born. The unreal cannot be born, the real cannot die. Therefore, both birth and death are part of a mystery called life. So this mystery is what we call as Maya. Both life and death are a mystery. And if you go by what the scripture says, this is not one lifetime. Life continues life after life. So you may not live in this particular embodiment, but definitely you have not disappeared. You continue into another lifetime. So if this is the basis of the Bhagavad Gita, it is not just a pep talk or to wake up Arjuna. It is not just a counseling session to make Arjuna feel better. This Krishna is talking about fundamental reality about life. And if you look into Arjuna's question, okay, you can find that he actually says, I want Shreyas. Shreyas is ultimate good. I want Shreyas. If I get Shreyas, I'll be free from all my troubles. And that Shreyas, I think, if I take sannyasa, if I give up all my karmas, if I give up my responsibilities, take it to a life of sannyasa and just sit in meditation and contemplation, I will gain Shreyas. So I'll be free from all these problems. Krishna says, sorry, merely by giving up activity, you cannot become a sannyasi. Sannyasa as a lifestyle is one thing. Sannyasa as knowledge of reality is something totally different. Sannyasa is a lifestyle, okay? It is meant for the very few people. Those people who are qualified for that alone can become sannyasis. If you are not qualified for that, sannyasa is dangerous. So, but merely by taking on to a lifestyle of sannyasa, you cannot get shreyas. Again, Arjuna had said, I will like to live on bhiksha. Bhiksha is a lifestyle of a sannyasi. So there Arjuna is asking for sannyasa. He is asking for shreyas. And he says, everything that I gain in life will not compensate me for the loss and the sense of sadness that I will have. Every pleasure that I get will be stained with the blood of my relatives. That means nothing can compensate me for sorrow. Okay? And according to you, Krishna, whether I take sannyasa or I fight this war, I cannot escape sorrow. That means, please tell me, what is the way out? This is where Krishna comes in and says, there is a way out. Know yourself. The second definition of sannyasa is knowledge of reality. So sannyasa is a lifestyle, is not meant for you, Arjuna, but definitely sannyasa as knowledge of reality will liberate you from this sorrow. If you have that knowledge, you will not have to go through this sadness. Therefore, ashochan anvashochasvam. You are sorrowing for something that does not deserve sorrow. If you have the knowledge of reality, you will be completely free from sorrow. The second chapter talks about different, what you can say, standpoints. From the standpoint of reality, there is no death at all. From the standpoint of your physical body, yes, this body is subject to death. It is subject to birth. Okay? And every person is subject to death. Therefore, learn to accept death. Do not deny the phenomena of death. Learn to accept death is just waiting around the corner. A friend of mine, very jovially, he said that when Yama comes, okay, he does not come to you based on your age, based on your seniority. Okay, so the phenomena of death, we all are waiting in line for death, just like we catch a bus at the bus stop. We are all standing in line. But once the bus comes, the first person in line is not necessarily the first person inside the bus. Okay, until the bus comes, everybody is standing in line. Once the bus comes, it is anybody's chance to get in. Okay, there is always a rush, and maybe the last person is the first, and the first person will be left behind. So death does not come in serial order. Death can come at any time to anyone. Therefore, if you are accounting for death as part of your life journey. Be prepared. This is the message. Be prepared. Death is not a tragedy. Death is just a transition. So from one lifetime to another, death is just a transition. From another standpoint, Krishna says that yes, the phenomena of death can create sorrow. Your own death, you can have fear. When other people die, you have the fear of loss. You will lose them. Okay? That means you have to learn to accept the fact that there is sorrow in life. If there is sorrow in life, either you can run away from it or you can face it with courage. Krishna says, Arjuna, you are a trained person. You are trained to face death. As a Kshatriya, you are not to fear death, you are trained to face death. Therefore, sorrow and death should not be an issue for you. If you are ready to handle your life, if you are ready to handle the stress of your life, if you are ready to handle the sorrow of your life, you are qualified for Shreyas. If you run away from sorrows in life, you are not qualified for Shreyas. So you are asking for Shreyas, the ultimate good. The ultimate good you can come to provided you are ready to face the issues in your life. So be a brave man, face the issues in your life. It's called titiksha. Agama painaha anityaha tam titikshasva bharata. Sorrow will come, sorrow will go. Joy will come, joy will go. Life will come, life will go. Okay, there will be ups and downs in life. You have to bear with it. Titiksha. Okay? The sahan karne ka shakti. That you have to develop. And sometimes you will have a dilemma, like Arjuna had. Should I face my relatives and fight with them, or should I withdraw? So when you have such a doubt, learn to go by what the scriptures say is your dharma. So understand your Kshatriya dharma. It is your Swadharma. So think about your Swadharma. It is better to die doing your Swadharma than to abandon your dharma and live a life that is meant for somebody else. Everybody cannot be a Kshatriya. Everybody cannot be a priest. Everybody cannot be a businessman. Each person has got his own uniqueness. So that uniqueness is your Swadharma. Learn to accept your Swadharma, and nobody's dharma is free from problem and stress. Everybody, starting from your watchman onwards, he has got great stress. He has to keep awake at night. A lot of stress. Anything can happen, and he's responsible for anything going wrong. Okay? So everybody has got stress in any station in life. Therefore, ask yourself, am I following my Swadharma? If I follow my Swadharma, then I will not gain any wrong consequences. Arjuna, if you follow your dharma and fight this war, you don't have to worry about the sin of killing your relatives. You will be doing your duty. Killing is by the way, doing your duty is fundamental. Okay? That duty involves killing. As a Kshatriya, you are to do your duty, you have to fight against injustice. So you are doing your duty, don't take it personally. If you take it personally, you have a problem. If you take it factually, you are doing your duty, therefore you don't have to worry. In fact, Krishna says, as a Kshatriya, if you die in this war, the doors for heaven are open for you. You will not go to hell, you will go to heaven. Therefore, from the standpoint of your duty, you don't have to worry. From the standpoint of life and death, learn to accept death as a fact of life and learn to make friends with sorrow. Okay? Don't run away from sorrow. Shake hands with sorrow and say, well, if you are there, I accept you as you are. You don't trouble me, I will not trouble you. Okay? When stress comes to you, tell stress, don't trouble me, I will not trouble you. Okay? Make a pact, have a shake hand with stress and say stress is a part of life. Stress is a part of growth. If you don't have stress, you are not growing. And there is only one place in life where there is no stress at all. That is 6 feet below the ground. Okay? When you go there, there will be no stress at all. That means stress is a symptom of life. Therefore, don't be afraid of stress. Make friendship with stress. Okay? Agate swagatam kuryat. Whatever comes in life, be ready and say, I accept gracefully. If sorrow comes, say, I accept gracefully. If joy comes, say, I accept gratefully. Okay? This is the beauty of living with wisdom. Don't give in to sorrow, rise beyond sorrow. Don't, what you can say, don't give in to fear, rise beyond fear. डर से मत डरो, डर के आगे बढ़ो, डर के आगे जीत है. Okay? Having talked about Swadharma, Krishna says, Arjuna, you are afraid of incurring papam, incurring sin. You are doing something which is not right. Killing the near and dear ones is not right. You think it will give you papa. Now, there is a way to carry out all your activities. Treat your activities as worship. Think of your work as worship. Even the act of fighting in this war, don't take it personally. Don't let your ahankara interfere. Surrender that ahankara to the Lord and say, I have been given this station in life. I have been given this responsibility in life. I have not chosen it. It has come to me. Okay. So it is allotted to me. If you ask who has allotted, well, I can only say, ऊपर वाला ने हमको इधर रखा है. So there must be some meaning because of which I am stationed in this life. So if I fulfill my Swadharma and make it as an act of worship, how do you make it an act of worship? Think of all your actions as dedicated unto the Creator. Every action that you do is a thank you note for all the blessings that you have received from the Creator. Okay? He has given me hands, He has given me legs, He has given me a mind. These are the gifts of Ishvara. What I do with these gifts is my return gift to Ishvara. So all my activities, whatever I do in life, if I live a life of Swadharma, And if I recognize the hand of the Lord in all my success, I thank the Lord for giving me an opportunity to do my duty. Thank you, Lord. Whatever I do, I will do it as an offering unto you. This is my return gift. And whatever results that come from my action, it comes through your hands because you are the Lord of Karma. Okay? You are the lawgiver, and the results come through the law of Karma. You are the lawgiver. Therefore, whatever comes to you, me, I will accept it as your grace. It is called prasada. When I take up activity, it is my offering. When I receive results, it is prasada. So, arpana and prasada. These are two attitudes that account for karma yoga. With this attitude of karma yoga, no sin will touch you. Therefore, from every standpoint, from the standpoint of reality, from the standpoint of life itself as death is a part of life, from the standpoint of handling sorrow as part of life, again, as from the standpoint of your dharma, swadharma, it is your duty to do the right thing. And again, from the standpoint of karma yoga. So the right attitudes which convert everything that is fearful, everything that is troublesome, it is converted into an act of puja. Therefore, my whole life is a worship unto the Lord. I live with the awareness of the Lord, and that itself is a blessing. So I am blessed. This is the message of Krishna. If you can have the full understanding of reality, if you can accept life, death is a part of life, if you can accept that handling sorrow is difficult, but it is not impossible, you have to rise beyond sorrow. If you want to handle sorrow, you have to be greater than sorrow. So don't give in to sorrow, learn to rise beyond sorrow. From the standpoint of duty, well, if this duty has come to you, do it as an honor, do it as something, a responsibility. And in terms of attitudes, take up your activity as a form of worship. Whatever comes to you is prasad. Whatever you do is your puja. Right? From every standpoint, Bhagavad Gita gives you a holistic way of approaching your life. As we go ahead, we'll be seeing more and more time for question answers. And if you have anything to share, this is the right time for it.
So can we say that a combination of karma yoga in terms of doing your duty with the right attitude, then bhakti, where you worship the Lord and have the prasada buddhi, and in terms of jnana, the truth about life and death, everything means. Can we put it that way?
So from every level, from the level of knowledge, there is no death. Okay. So from the standpoint of karma yoga, life is a puja. So life is part of devotion. And of course, as you do your swadharma, that is your karma yoga. So it is all one. There is no separate. It is all one. You are one or are you many? Tell me. Is your body separate? Is your mind separate? Is your buddhi separate? Or they are all one? They are all one, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Yeah. So similarly, Karma Yoga, Bhakti, Jnanam, they are not separate, they're all one. Okay? They are different aspects of one and the same thing.
Yeah.
सर
So
मेरा
don't
एक
try to compartmentalize.
सॉरी कंटिन्यू सॉरी सर
Yes,
कंटिन्यू
tell me.
मेरा एक डाउट है पूछूं shall I ask it out
Yeah. Please ask.
not related to this particular topic मेरा ये डाउट है कि 100 है ना दुर्योधन दुशासन ये सब लोग 100 है टोटल 100 भारत में 100 बच्चों का नेम्स मेंशन था
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
this question is not related to this particular topic just general doubt
Uh-huh.
मेरा
हाँ.
ये दुर्योधन और दुशासन ये सब 100 है ना टोटल बच्चे एंड 100 का नेम्स आर मेंशन्ड इन भारत
Yes. All the names are mentioned.
then
सबके
and Dhritarashtra
नाम हैं.
many wives are there right yeah? because it's how it is possible to do 100 births for a lady so
100 now.
Dhritarashtra
So I
already
think
wise है और
it
भी
must have
wise
been
है
an empire for the parents. So, and many of them look identical. So you do not know who is who.
माने
Right?
धृतराष्ट्र
But
और भी वाइज है क्या ऐसा कुछ मेंशन है
so probably they must be having this tag, na, like you have in your marathon. सबको एक tag होगा. Okay, number 1, number 2, number 3 करके.
मेरे बचपन से भी यही डाउट था ये कैसा
But
हो सकता है
that tells you that uh, people had a mind which is a retentive mind. Okay, so people lived a whole life. They didn't live a superficial life. So when you live a whole life, okay, your mind is deep and it can grasp better. It can remember better. So that your a life of yoga, a life of contemplation, it makes your mind better and better. So you are able to handle much more than what an average person handles. So this is called training. And our culture itself is a training.
दुर्योधन
Okay,
दुष्यंत के अलावा
yes.
और कौन सा है उनका कजिन्स उनका ब्रदर्स आई मीन टू से दुर्योधन दुशासन एंड और भी कुछ है नेम्स
98 people, I don't remember, I don't know the names.
not
But I can,
98 one or two at least
pardon? Yeah, we can get it.
one or two
We can get it. If you're interested, I'll get it for you.
नहीं जस्ट लेट द टाइम आस्क वो बचपन का डाउट था मेरा ये
हाँ.
but I have never gone deep into it thank you sir thank you very much
Okay. Anyone else?
And the meaning, especially of chapter 2.
Yes,
Acharya
ma'am.
ji, I have a doubt. I might be the youngest member in the whole group, so less experience. Acharya ji, I wanted to know when you said you need to go above the sorrow. So in that situation, if you could share what exactly one has to do, or some tips or technique, how can we deal with it? Because when you say and we hear, it sounds okay, but when you are in that situation, maybe it becomes difficult. So what can be done?
See, we live a life avoiding sorrow, that is our problem. Even our children, we pamper them. We don't want them to feel hurt. We don't want them to be left alone. So all the time you'll be pampering them with gifts and this thing, and you'll tell all the friends, please talk to my son. He's not talking to anyone. So we try to make things comfortable for our children. Okay. If you grow up like that, you'll become so used to comfort that you cannot handle sorrow. You cannot handle sorrow. So how to handle sorrow? How to become bigger than sorrow? For that, start facing sorrow right from your childhood. Facing sadness. Don't say, I don't like this, I don't like that. Whether you like it or not, it is good for you, so please eat it. Okay? So don't say it is difficult. Don't say things are boring. Don't say things are unpleasant. These three things will destroy your life. The word boring, the word unpleasant, the word difficult. So tell your children, tell yourself also that something may be boring, it is because I don't understand. Something may be difficult because I'm not trained to handle it. Okay? Something can be unpleasant because I'm not used to it. Correct? Why is a thing unpleasant? Okay? For most people, cleaning the shit pot is unpleasant. Right? But the Japanese system says, if you want to be successful in life, first handle your own shit. Clean your own shit. That is the only way to be successful. So you have to give excuses. Unpleasant is an excuse. Difficult is an excuse. Boring is an excuse. If you can deal with these excuses right from your childhood onwards, you are rising above sorrow. Sorrow is an excuse. Rise above sorrow. Sorrow can be handled. Sorrow is not impossible. It may be difficult, but it is not impossible. Can you accept this? Learn to face difficulties. Don't turn your thing and run away from it. So this is called training. So all martial arts, karate and all that, you have to learn to take beating. Okay, in boxing, you have to face punches. You have to steel yourself so that you become so tough that even the blows cannot make you fall down. So that is called preparation, whether it is physical or mental. Mentally prepare yourself. Things will go wrong. In life, things will go wrong, and I depend on myself to make it right again. This is called the survivor attitude. Things will go wrong in life. I am ready for it. Okay? It will not go wrong every day. Therefore, I don't have to worry. But it may happen at any time. Therefore, I am prepared for it. A nice attitude is work for the best, plan for the best, and be prepared for the worst. Plan for the best, be prepared for the worst. If the worst happens, well, you expected it, you are prepared. Can you see how you rise above sorrow?
Yes, sir. Very nice. Yes.
Thank you so much,
Step
Swamiji.
by
Thank
step,
you so
step
much.
by step, you become stronger and stronger.
Sir, you are Gita expert. Are you above all the earthly worries or earthly sorrows? And are you also
Uh,
always
we learn
Gita
to
maybe
manage it.
in your brain?
We learn to accept our sorrow and manage it. We are
You
not, what you can say, sorrow does not go away. Sorrow is there. We learn to accept it and manage it. Okay. So your heart should be big enough to accommodate sorrow also. Don't make your heart so small that you cannot handle sorrow. Let your heart be large.
Heart and brain also, heart and brain, both.
Your heart. Let your heart be so big that
Heart
it
and brain also, sir. Brain also, I feel.
brain
Brain also
also.
should be very broad, and heart also should be very broad. To
Correct,
accommodate the sorrow.
True.
Thank
So
you very much, sir. Very nice.
look at this, as you grow older, you have seen so much of sorrow that it does not shock you. When you are young, any small incident can shock you. As you grow older, you say ये तो बहुत देखा है, so इसमें क्या नई बात क्या है? This is called maturity. You understand sorrow is part of life. It can happen to anyone. It can happen to you also. Therefore, if it happens, don't be shocked. Learn to say, well, there must be some reason. I don't know the reason, but the Lord knows, and I trust the Lord. Therefore, I accept this gracefully.
Very nice. Yes, sir. True.
Acharya ji, one question. Is the knowledge of Gita a sort of mental preparedness to face sorrow or difficulties?
Gita is part of?
Is the knowledge of Gita, Bhagavad Gita, a sort of mental preparedness to face sorrow or difficulties?
Yeah. Yes and no. Yes, it prepares you. Okay. And no, it is not just a preparation, it is a solution. It's not just a preparation, it's a solution for sorrow. Okay. And in fact, it's the ultimate solution.
Okay.
Once you have the solution, no sorrow can really shock you.
Okay.
It's not just a preparation. Does it make sense?
Sir, the concept of dharma or truth seems to be a relative one. It is there is no absolute truth or absolute dharma.
Yeah.
Each religious leader preaches his own dharma and says that what he preaches is correct.
Look at this, no? There is a value for truth. There is a value for honesty. There's also a value for non-hurting. Correct? So sometimes when you say the truth, you're hurting someone. Sometimes in order not to hurt the person, you tell an untruth. So which is correct? Both are situational. Ultimately, truth has to be applied to the situation. So in this situation, non-hurting is more important than truth. In another situation, truth is more important than non-hurting. Therefore, when you have to give up something, then you have to see in this situation what is more correct. What is more correct? So in that sense, it is related. Yes. And there's also Desha Kala Dharma. Okay. So in life and death situations, you can go against truth and non-hurting, etc. It's a life and death situation. It is not the time to say, I will only say the truth. So sometimes it is okay to break that rule because it's a matter of life and death. This is called apata dharma. Okay, apata dharma. There is a samanya dharma. Samanya dharma is a general rule applicable for everyone. There is a vishesha dharma, situation based. Okay, what is right for a brahmachari is not right for a grahastha. What is right for a sannyasi is definitely not what is right for a brahmachari. Okay, so situations. So you have to see what is a vishesha dharma. As a student, your duty is to study, not to play politics. You may study politics, but you cannot play politics. Okay, so that is your dharma. So stick to your dharma. That's a vishesha dharma. And there is a desha kala dharma. So if you are living in Saudi Arabia, so you may have to follow the rules of that country. If you live in India, you have to follow the rules of this country. So there also it may be different. As if you are a different religion, they may have their own rules. That is true. And there is an apata dharma. Apata dharma, in life and death, what is most important is survival. So for survival, you may do something. Okay. It is not wrong. I wouldn't say it is right, but it is condoned. Apata dharma is condoned. Therefore, you can steal a piece of bread if you are dying of hunger. That stealing is okay.
Thank you.
Anything
Thank
else?
you very much, Uday. I think then it was a fascinating session. We look forward to next session next Thursday. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
sir.
Thank you very much.
I
Thank
hope
you
you enjoyed
very
the
much.
approach also.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Hari Om. Namaste. Hari Om.
Thank you.